talk about trying new stuff today, but it is a show called We Can Laugh About It Now, so we got to start with some bad stuff to get to the good stuff, so bear with me. Where to start? I want you to hop in the time machine with me right now and go to 2020. Who's excited about that? Right? But no, hang tight with me. All right, so my 2020 went like a lot of people's 2020 did with a COVID breakup. Anyone else have one of those? So I had a really significant, to me at the time, COVID breakup. All right, someone that I was really sure was my person. And so it was bad, and it was icky, and in hindsight, very toxic. But going through this, it turns out that that was just a little acorn of what was going to turn into a big old tree of loss that year. So buckle up. I lost 6 friends in 2020. Only one related to the pandemic. The other 5 were those out of the blue kind of losses that you don't see coming, but just one after another after another. In a span of 18 months, all 4 of my dogs crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Right response. And my cat. 6 friends, 4 dogs, and a cat. And the losses just kept on coming. So it turned out that my person was not this guy I had a breakup with. My person, my long-term relationship was with grief. So grief and I, we became real intimate. We spent a lot of time together. We checked in on each other throughout the day. We woke up together. We were inseparable. And then one day grief is like, I want to escalate this relationship. I'm going to up the ante. I want you to try something new. Okay. 4 things happened in pretty rapid succession. June 2020, I tried something new that I hope none of you ever try. I became a survivor of a violent physical assault. Shortly after that, I tried something new, self-defense class. I took Krav Maga. Highly recommend. PSA, don't wait till you need it, take it. Thing 3, I took my first solo international travel. I'm so excited about this, and it's become a passion of mine. That's another story for another long day. But interesting thing that happened on this trip is I'm out in Cabo, Mexico, and these giant moths are landing on me. It's so weird, like the workers are looking at me funny. And I'm like, what's with this? I take a picture and I reverse image search this moth. It's known as the black witch moth, y'all. I don't know if you've ever heard of the black witch moth. It's an omen of death and misfortune. Great. 1 month to the day after the moths land on me, thing 4, find myself in ICU. I want to slow clap for Sam that took me to ICU, and there's a reason I'm slow clap. I'm in ICU. I have this thing called septic shock. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I'd never heard of that. I didn't know what they were talking about in the emergency room. What I knew is that every time I took a breath, it felt like the thing from Alien was in there ripping my diaphragm apart, and it was drunk and it had a buddy. It did turn out that it's a whole episode of House MD for another story that I had a really freak infection going on where my body literally was attacking my liver and my diaphragm muscle. And so every breath, I actually was tearing my diaphragm.
She got 5 doses of morphine with y'all.
I had a lot of morphine. But what I didn't know about septic shock at the time, I would learn the next day Googling when I came to a little bit, is that 35% of people, 1 in 3 that get septic shock, die in the hospital. What I learned this week in Googling some more stats is that 75%, 4 out of 5, die within 4 years of that. So I just passed my 4-year anniversary. So I didn't die. There's part of the punchline. Now we get to the good stuff. So a bunch of my friends have died, my dogs, my cat. Anyway, I didn't die, but a lot of parts of me did. Right? What's left at the end of all of this trauma, aside from a healthy dose of PTSD, is just these empty and broken places. Just constant waiting for the next shoe to drop. Right? How could I not just wait for the next bad thing? And I decide it's time for a breakup. This time I'm breaking up with grief. We're gonna have a parting of ways. They're gonna come and go, and I know this. This is how it works. But when they come, I'm gonna greet them with kindness and with curiosity and welcome them to sit in the back seat on the road trip and they don't get to control the music. So grief gets to stay with me, but we're broken up. We're just friends. We're friends zone. So, but what next? I got all these broken places. I decided I'm going to turn these broken places into spaces to fill instead with anticipation of good things, of savoring life, of gratitude. I even started tattooing my gratitude. All of these are things I'm grateful for, people I love, experiences that are on my gratitude arm. So just savoring this gratitude. And one day I'm like, okay, what's next? If this chapter is closed, what's the new chapter? And I see this fridge magnet I've had for years, I didn't pay much mind to, and I want a Roosevelt quote. It said, do one thing every day that scares you. I said, that's as good a place to start as any. So I set an intention, I don't know, this is 2021, 2022, I'm coming out of some of the worst of it, and I say every day I'm gonna learn something new or do something scary. Learn something new or do something scary. Either or, both and, those are my two intentions every morning. And that when I go to sleep every night, if that's my last day, I want it to have been a great day. Very simple. So it starts off slow, right? Nothing grand. Learn something new, do something scary. I do a Duolingo lesson. An Instagram reel taught me the optimal way to slice a lime. Met a new poet. Then I get a little more sassy. I took flamingo dance lessons. I hopped on a plane and took my solo ass to Bali to volunteer at an endangered sea turtle rescue. I've been trudging through swamps with fossil hunters. I faced my lifelong fear of motorcycle riding. I learned to ride motorcycles and got my license. I learned to play the didgeridoo. I've taken sushi making classes. I paid a guy in one of those open-air little biplanes, like Charlie Brown kind of thing, to do loop-de-loops and barrel rolls. That was pretty fun. I even tried therapy, y'all. Yeah, learn something new, do something scary. I did so many scary things. One day, I tried an improv class. And fun fact, the very first tattoo on my gratitude arm is the date of my first level 1 improv class. True story. So all this learn something new, do something scary. And if it sounds like it's fun, it is. If it sounds like I have it all figured out, I don't. Life's still hard, but every day is still fun. But it's come up with 2 insights I want to share with you guys. And I promise we're coming to the wrap here. But 2 insights. One, what keeps us from learning something new or trying something new? The answer's in the question. It's fear. Whatever 2's come up with, if you ask them, well, why, you find out that the bottom of it is some kind of fear. That's why you don't try something new. So it turns out when you nearly died a couple times, and you're out here throwing not yet dead parties, that whole fear of dying, that's the big bag, and you're not scared of it, lots of doors open. So screw fear, it's not there. I had to start changing my intention, instead of learn something new, do something scary, to simply learn something new or do something that stretches my comfort zone. Because it's not scary anymore. There are still things that are uncomfortable, but I'm no longer scared. And that's been my next step. Second insight is that through this process, I get to learn more about me and who I am and who I'm not and who I'm becoming. And the best example I can give of this is I do keep a list on my phone, ADHD, of scary things I still want to do. And on this list one day was roller coasters. I'm like, roller coasters. As long as I can remember, I've been like not a roller coaster girl. So my friend takes me to Six Flags, and we're gonna try roller coasters. I get there, and I realize I'm not actually scared of roller coasters. I just don't fucking like them. I like how they make me feel. It turns out, know thyself, that dopamine and serotonin are my drugs of choice, not adrenaline. So I get to decide which limitations to accept and which ones no longer serve me. Right? So now let's learn something new, do something that stretches your comfort zone. This is the new mantra. Every day go to sleep as if it's your last and you're happy about it. Okay? So I'm gonna close with 2 wishes for you guys. One is I wish you a breakup. I wish you a really hard breakup with fear and with grief. Like, this breakup is going to be ugly and messy. It may take you a few months, but start small. I wish that you will learn something new and do something that stretches your comfort zone every single day, however little. Like I said, maybe you'll find the best way to cut an orange. I don't know. Like, find your thing. And if like Ade, she'll tell you to try this new thing called storytelling. So thank you, Ade, for creating this wonderful community, and to all the other storytellers, and to you, the audience, for listening.